Welcome, everybody. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for coming this morning. There are more seats available here in the front. I promise not to pick on anybody. Good morning. Great. Thanks, everyone, for coming here today. It's really awesome to have so many people interested in talking about climate change. It's such an impactful topic and such an important one. And it's really inspiring to see so many people waking up early and going out of their way to have a discussion that is super important now more than ever, right? So really, really appreciate it. For those of you guys who are not green school parents, just a quick and simple reminder that it's very important that you stay within this area and not wander around the school. Today is a normal school day. Kids are having their classes, so that's super, super important that you are around here. And we've taken the time to hang the program around the space so you guys can take a look at all the contents that we have packed into today's program. Super interesting. We hope that you enjoy a lot of the conversations, and if not all of them. And at the end of the day, we will have a super interesting part, which is a workshop where all of you guys will have the chance to collaborate with two organizations that are going to present their challenges here, and you're going to be able to brainstorm potential solutions with them. So stick around, and it will be a super interesting conversation to have. Before that, we have a couple of amazing speakers that will be talking to you about different topics. And of course, today, the main theme is food and nature-based solutions. And I hope that we get your attention and are able to convey the message as to why this is so important to us. I just forgot the clicker, sorry. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Renato Silva. I'm a green school parent and also one of the co-founders of Scale Climate Action. Our Meetup aims to instigate conversations about how we can all scale our positive climate impacts apart from the things that we normally already do. So we're bringing this conversation up so that more people can jump on board and try to figure out ways that we can all increase our positive climate impact. Today, we're doing this here at the Green School, and tomorrow we will have another session that is focused on sustainable building solutions at the Tropical Noma Canggu. So if you like today's session so much that you want to go to the second one tomorrow, please do that. Yeah? Let me see if it's going to work. Yeah. So climate change has been in the news already for quite some time, so we don't want to discuss so much about what the causes are. Today, we're going to be focusing a lot more on the potential solutions to the causes. Today is the second edition of this meetup. In the first edition, we talked a lot about the causes, especially the hidden root causes, which Benjamin here is an expert on and has amazing material on the hidden root causes of climate change and a lot of the crises that we are going on right now. If you haven't checked his presentation at the first edition of our Scale Climate Action Meetup, please do so in our YouTube channel. Super, super interesting. But this year we have seen record-breaking temperatures being recorded all over the world, and this has been increasing significantly over the past few years. It's undeniable that global warming and climate change is already there. The reason for this is because human activities have been releasing a lot of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, and here we can see how much it has happened over the past 800,000 years, concentration of CO2 in the atmosphere, and now just in the past 150 years, this has been growing exponentially since the Industrial Revolution. And clicker is not working. Yes, you can. Okay. This correlates with the increase in average global temperature, which then, yes, please, the next one. Here you can also see the estimated emissions by countries in the last couple of years. So I don't want to spend too much time on this here because this is well known, well documented, and everyone here should already have a good understanding that this is real and this is really happening. What we want you guys to take from today, if if there is only one thing that you would take from this event today, uh, is that every job is a climate job, whether we want it or not, whether we know it or not, whether this job is climate positive or climate negative. Everything that we do in our daily lives has a climate impact. And this is a very, very important topic for us to be talking about today. So register this because everything we do has that impact. So it's up to us to choose what kind of impact we would like our jobs to have in the climate. We spend most of our days doing something, be it a professional job, or if we are already retired or we don't need to work, we spend the day doing different activities. And what is the consequence of those activities? In our opinion, we must be very intentional about those activities generating positive climate impact because of the size of the problem that we have today. And it's super, super important that we're very intentional about it. And what we mean about being intentional about it is not really for you to quit your existing job and find something in climate, like I have done last year. Um, but it is more about an invitation for you to rethink the way that you relate your work with climate, right? So if you're a business owner, then you can start thinking about the impact of your business on the climate, on the activities, on the products and services that your company has. What are the impacts on the climate? Start measuring that. Be intentional about creating new products and services that will help to regenerate um, our planet, be positive for the climate, and at the same time provide valuable income to your organization. If you are an investment banker, you can start thinking about diverting your investments from fossil fuels, for example. If you're an accountant, you can start motivating your organization to start accounting for the amount of carbon that your business actually helps to pump into the atmosphere, not just your business directly, but your whole supply chain, your whole value chain, right? So when we think about every job being a climate job, we think about that, an invitation to rethink about how our jobs contribute to the problems or to the solutions. And it's our choice on which side of the equation we actually want to be in. So yes, today is about an invitation to rethink about your jobs. And all of us that are here, or perhaps 99% of all of us that are here, we have been very, very fortunate to have access to high quality education, which led us to high quality, high paid jobs, which led us to moving from other countries into Bali. A lot of us have kids in the Green School, which is an amazing organization, an amazing school for kids. And all of this came at a very high carbon cost or at a very high climate cost, right? So how do we not only offset our carbon footprint, but we help to regenerate, right? Our carbon footprint is likely higher than most other people in the world. And separating the trash at home to be recycled is noble and very, very important, but it's absolutely not enough to undo the 150 years of industrial scale damage that we have helped causing the planet. So the big question is, how do we significantly increase our positive impact in the climate? And we at Scale Climate Action believe that understanding that every job is a climate job is the first step or one of the first steps towards making that a reality and causing a big, significant impact. So the invitation today for all of you is rethink about your jobs, about your passions, about the things that you do on a daily basis, but especially your jobs, because we're always trying to do more, achieve more, get more. Let's do that in a climate positive way. Yeah. And we hope that we can help you with some ideas of how that might look like towards the end of the day. So sorry, it's a lot of time in one slide, but I think that's a very, very important thing. So why are we meeting here today? The problem is huge. It's humanity's biggest challenge ever, bigger than the Second World War, bigger than the Industrial Revolution, bigger than anything we have ever faced. And the only way we believe that we can overcome this is if everyone is aware and actively working towards the solutions. Everyone can have a significant impact, and we believe one of the ways to start that is understanding that our jobs are all climate jobs. And again, you don't need to change your job or your passion to make a real difference. You can start rethinking about what you already do and make that very positive. And many people say, oh, but climate jobs are only for scientists. And actually not, right? There has been a very strong conversation over the past couple of years that we need to decarbonize our economy, which means most of the things that we do in our economy need to be changed. And that means everything that we all work on, right? We need uh, bankers, we need graphic designers, we need storytellers, we need accountants, we need product managers, we need salespeople, we need farmers, which we're going to talk a lot about today. We need everyone to be working towards that. So it's not just scientists. And in our day-to-day lives, of course, the urgent is always sort of overcoming the important, and it's a challenge that all of us have here. What is urgent is making money, making sure that we have a comfortable life, providing to our families, and etc. And sometimes the important slips away. And in this case, climate is super, super important because this is, especially for us who have kids, this is what we're actually going to give to them tomorrow and their kids, right? We need to give them a sustainable environment in which they can thrive. And that's the very, very important thing. So I hope that this enables us to frame that changing our jobs to be climate positive jobs is a very, very important thing to do. And it is time to do that. One thing that brings a lot of us who are especially green school parents, one thing that brings a lot of us together, one thing we have in common is the desire to make our world more sustainable. And let's take this opportunity that we are here in this amazing island with amazing people and this amazing school to really use the opportunity to rethink what we are doing and are going to leave for our kids tomorrow. Over the past couple of months, I've arrived in Bali 4 months ago, and I've been having conversations with loads and loads of people, and I'm amazed about the amount of incredible people that are in this island, all sort of going on a similar direction for a more sustainable way of living, sustainable way of thinking, but especially all of, if not all is big, but most, the vast majority of people I've been speaking to, they are on a transformational journey. They are on this island as part of transforming the way they live, transforming the way they think, transforming the way they relate to each other, transforming the way that they work, and that includes myself. So I invite you all again for the opportunity of this transformational journey to enable us to rethink the way we relate work to climate and taking the responsibility of our high carbon footprint in the world that we want to live for our kids tomorrow, take it into our hands and say, okay, this is my responsibility. What can I do with my job starting today? So a little bit about us. Scale Climate Action is a community of like-minded individuals with a strong bias towards solution-based action, not willing to stand still while others try to solve the climate crisis. We have basically two choices, right? We either live our lives as we have always done, and someone else solves the climate, be it governments, be it corporations, be it whatever, or we take a stance on it. And Scale Climate Action is about taking a stance, it's standing up, and we don't know exactly how we're going to fix this or contribute, but at least we start the walk. And by starting the walk, we've been collecting loads of other amazing people that think in a very similar way. And by discussing this together, we're trying to figure out ways that we can all create a much bigger impact than, again, just separating the trash at home and doing some other things, right? So starting the walk is very, very important for us, and we're not willing to stand still. Our hypothesis, we have basically two hypotheses that we're trying to test with the Meetup. One is we can help individuals and organizations significantly scale their climate impact by connecting them, by helping you to understand how your job can relate to the challenges at organizations that are doing great climate work on the ground, by connecting you guys. And the other one, the second hypothesis is that we can bring in high growth lessons from the tech industry to scale climate impact faster than we have been able to do so far. The reason for this is that all of us in the organization of the Meetup have a tech background. We have all worked for big techs. We have all have had great experiences scaling all the businesses, and we think, well, climate solutions need to be scaled faster than ever, but they haven't been really going that fast. So are there lessons that we can bring in from the tech world to enable that to happen? And one of the ways that we're doing this today is by bringing advisors that have also been working in the tech industry to help advise the organizations that are doing work on the ground. And we're going to mix it all up with you guys and see what else we can come out from there. Our goal is to significantly slow down the warming of our planet through coordinated, impactful actions on a planetary scale. Yes, this is super ambitious, of course, but if we don't shoot for the stars, how are we going to land on the moon, right? So we have to start walking, and our ambition is, yes, to be able to do this, is yes, starting in Bali, is yes, taking the first step, but our goal is to be able to make a significant impact. Not so much as an organization per se. So not just, we don't aim scale climate action to become that thing that saves the world. No, absolutely not. We aim to get it to get the conversation going in such a big scale that billions of people hopefully understand their job is a climate job and they can actually do something already today. The uniqueness of Bali, so as I mentioned before, Bali is incredible, has amazing people, worldwide community, which means whatever we are able to discuss here and learn together and grow together will have exponential impact all over the world, right? Because of all of our international networks, all the people we know, all our families and friends, and the influence that we can have all over the globe. Just in this audience alone, I can see we have a huge variety of nationalities here. So imagine that. If we can brew something very interesting here, the impact and dissemination of that information can be very, very great. So come and join the cause. You can come and join Scale Climate Action, but this is not what we are asking for. Come and join the climate solution space. Start talking to your friends. Start talking to your families. Try to start rethinking about how your job relates to the climate and how positive your job can actually be. You will be surprised when you stop to really deeply think about that, about the impact that you can actually make. So how global warming could slow down? We believe that by targeting emergency solutions in all of these areas, education, food, nature, electrification of transport, decarbonization of the grid, and cleaning up the industry. In our first edition of the Scale Climate Action Meetup in July, we talked a lot about education. That's when Benjamin came in and gave an amazing talk about the need for consciousness change. And today, our focus is going to be on food and nature-based solutions and why it's important, the positive and the negative impacts of that on our planet and on our climate. So, of course, food is super important, and no one will deny that, right? Luckily, it's not yet around noon that we're looking into this, so we don't feel so hungry. But food is extremely important, and we all know about that. What we may not realize, or a lot of us may not realize, is the impact of food production and distribution from seed to our table and onwards, right? So the negative climate impact of our current food production system, which is based on mainly on industrial agriculture, the impact on the climate is huge. And this is what we're going to be talking about today quite a lot. And food relies on mainly predictable weather patterns, right? So humans have been cultivating or have been working with agriculture for hundreds of thousands of years based on predictable weather patterns. And what happens when the climate is changing? Those predictable weather patterns change, right? So our own food security all over the world is at risk. When all of us go into the same supermarket and there's just one bag of rice left, we will have some discussion and be able to share that. But what about if another 100 people come in? that discussion will be much, much harder. 1,000 people, much, much harder, right? And this is the path that we're going towards to, and we're going to be discussing quite a bit today. And when there is not enough food for everybody, what happens? Conflicts emerge. People will be fighting over the resource. People will be fighting over to see who gets a chance at the table or a seat at the table and who does not. And that impacts in mass migration, impacts in a huge lot of other things that we normally don't think about. When we talk about greenhouse gas emissions that are coming from food production, actually agriculture, forestry, and land use, it's about 18% of all the greenhouse gas emissions are coming from there for a variety of reasons. For the from the use of fossil fuel based fertilizers, for example, which is a huge thing today in industrial agriculture, to the oil that pumps the machines, to the way that we actually treat the soil, to the way that we plant, the way that we harvest. And we will have lots of people, great people here today talking about that as well. So the impact is really big across the food supply chain, from production to processing, aggregation, and distribution, and markets and consumers. And if we click one more time, let's go back, go back, go back. Yes, no problem. So yeah, let's go again. One. No. Just click here again. Sorry, quite a bit of animation. Sorry about that. So we can see that the food production greenhouse gas emissions is actually much more complex than we think about. Tanguy will be talking a little bit about this today. Haley will be talking a little bit about this today as well, or not a bit, I think quite a lot, and diving a little bit deeper into that. But emissions from the whole food supply chain are coming from several different places and across the chain. So it's a very complex problem, and we need to feed everyone. So we need to find solutions to that. And of course, there's good news. I don't want to just bring grim news and sad news to everybody, but there is good news. And we can move to the next one. So the good news is that solutions already exist to all of these problems. They just need to be scaled in a very big way. And the way that we believe we can help to scale these solutions is for all of us to understand our jobs, our climate jobs. So in our current jobs, what are we actually going to do to contribute to the solutions that are going to be explained over here? Our theory of change is that about 80% of the solutions to the climate crisis already exist, and they are already commercially viable and available. They just need to be massively scaled. Again, same thing, right? One more. And all of us can do something significant about it. If we don't find any meaningful way to cause meaningful impact in our existing jobs, then stand up and pressure governments, stand up and pressure organizations, right? Like a lot of people are doing. There's always a big discussion in Bali about the plastic crisis, which is, of course, a crisis, which is, of course, very, very important. But let's not forget about all the coal that we have been burning over the last 150 years that has caused a much bigger impact than what it has today. So working on the plastics is important. There are people doing that, and we should support them and so on. But maybe our energy can be then directed into other areas as well, because the problem is much, much bigger than what we can actually see. All the coal resulting greenhouse gas emissions cannot be seen, is invisible to our eyes, and we tend to forget about that. So let's go to the next one. Time to act is now. I think we are right now, you can go on for all the animation. I think we are now in an amazing positive climate momentum. One more, Ugi. Yes. So we are in an unprecedented positive climate momentum right now that has been sparked about a higher consciousness, which then resulted in stronger public opinion, especially in the US and Europe, pressuring governments, pressuring corporations to start action. Even though some of these actions have been not for the right reasons, some of these actions have been to sell more, but nevertheless, it's on the right direction, which then put investors to pay more attention and start pouring more money into this. And we already have the technology to solve most of the problems that are facing us. Again, we just need to scale. One more, and I promise we're getting to the end of it, to the end of my short introduction. So we have a great array of speakers lined up for everyone today. I hope this is going to be fruitful and useful for everybody. You find value into it, and especially if you stay towards the end, 10 o'clock, we will have two organizations that are going to be talking about the work they're doing on the ground, and we will have a chance to contribute to them right after that. So without further ado, okay, the two organizations I talked about, the two sessions. Tomorrow, we also have a great array of speakers at the Tropical Nomad in Canggu. And if you like it today, try to make it to Canggu tomorrow. We have, this is the team behind Scale Climate Action. Our team has been growing since the first edition. So Jonathan is here, has joined our team as an advisor to help us scale climate action and also see where else can we take this. We are also looking for volunteers, project managers, graphic designers, storytellers, event planners, WhatsApp group moderators, of course, who doesn't need them, right? Social media managers. We're looking for all these people. One thing that I forgot to mention is one thing that we all in the team have in common is the tech background, right? You can see by the companies that we have all worked in, and we're trying to bring that perspective as to how we can use some of the lessons to speed up or increase our climate impact. Today's amazing speakers, they're going to be taking you guys on a very interesting journey, and I hope that you enjoy it. And the next ones are tomorrow's speakers. Yeah, it's okay. And then the next slide, talking about sustainable building solutions tomorrow at Tropical Nomad Canggu. Oh yeah, I forgot about the next step. So what is the conclusion of everything that I talked about and what I would suggest as next steps for everybody? So first, stay connected with Scale Climate Action, support the organizations doing impactful work on the ground, and you will have a chance to do that today. Next one is plan how to turn your job or your passion to positive one for the climate. Next one, try to speak regularly to your friends and family about climate solutions and your role. You can start your own meetups. You can invite people to different discussions. Join our monthly meetups to get inspired and connect with like-minded people. So we will continue to do these meetups here at the Green School and at Tropical Nomad every month. Next month is already on the 25th of October. And dive deeper with the Scale Climate Action team or Terra.do, which is an amazing organization providing climate education. We also have a 20% discount code if you decide to sign up for them. It's called SCA Bali, and you can talk to us more about that. That's exactly where Jen, myself, and Steve have met. And that's it. Thank you. And also huge thanks to the Bridge team for supporting us in our first and second editions. Your ongoing support is great. Thanks to the Green School for their amazing support as well, enabling us to talk to all of you guys. Thank you again for coming this morning.